Welcome back, guys. Jimmy Shaka here again. Today we are going to talk about two commands that are used to compare your two files, see if they're the same or different. The first one is CMP for compare, CMP for compare, and then the other one is diff for difference or differential. Now, let's start with compare. Before we do that, let me display the content of my current working directory, and let me go ahead and create these two files. So touch file A and touch file B. Okay, now let me go ahead and list again the content of my directory, and I have file A, file B. Now let me go ahead and run the if config command, if conf command, and I'm going to redirect that into file A, and I'm going to do the same with pinging a Google DNS server, and I'm going to redirect that into file B. Okay, and stop. Now let's compare file A to file B. As you can see, if they're the same, we should not have anything output down here. But if they're different, it's going to tell us how they differ in a way, right? Line 1 is different. So file A and file B are different because obviously, as you know, file A has this and file B has this. So file A has the ifconfig stuff, the output from the ifconfig command, and file B has the output of cat. File B has the output of the ping test that we redirected into file B. Okay, how about CMP A and A? So we're comparing file A and file A. Should be the same, so we shouldn't have anything different here. Enter. Nothing was found. We compared these two. There's nothing different to be found. So same thing with B and B, nothing different. They're exactly the same. Now, this is how you do for, now this is your text files, right? What if these were binary files? Let's say, let's copy. So which command, remove, okay? Let's go ahead and then, copy this, copy that, paste, oops, copy that, and let's copy that into this directory, this current directory. So the delta symbol here, or the dot, we can use the dot, and enter. Now, if we do the ls command again, so ls tilde, you're gonna see that we successfully copied the remove command into my current user home directory, rm. You see that over here? Now, let's compare these two. We're gonna compare CMP. The rm in this directory, compare that with this. We're going to compare that with the one found, the original one found in usr/bin/remove. Okay, enter. Nothing is different here. Okay, it's exactly the same. That's why we found nothing after we ran the CMP command. Now let's add some stuff. Let's append some content. Let's append say 1 2 3 or A B C. Let's add this this stuff to the rm binary file that we have in the home directory, the one we just copied over, which is this one up here. Enter. Now, after we add, before we did that, I wanted to show you some other thing. Okay, let me remove this rm, so list my current directory. It's gone. Let me remove it. Let me add that back on. And I just want to show you something here. So copy this here. So we're copying our remove binary file over into our home directory of this user, which is there right here. And like I said again, copy. So we compared the original remove command from the binary path to the binary file in the user/bin/remove, which is that's where it's at. We compared that with this one, rm, which is located in this current directory. Okay. Now, and of course we found nothing. So another way to compare binary files, unlike text files, you can also compare the hashed values. Okay, those are your cryptographic signature that are produced after hashing your file and seeing if it's the same or not. If you get the same output, then you know those two files are the same. If you see two different hash values, then you know. If the same, you know they're the same files. If they're different, then you know it's different files. Now, how do you run that, right? And so the way you do that is you run the command. So you run the command sha 256 sum, and then your two files. Okay, there's the first file, and of course there is our second one, and you can run it as together. So current, so you running sha 256 sum, the path to the first one, the original remove file in the binary file, and then the one we copied over into our home directory, which is this one up here, and then enter. Guess what we have here? Exactly the same hashed values. That means these two files are the same, just like we found with the compare command. Okay, just like we found with this command when we did not get anything out of this command. That told us that these two are the same. Now, so go ahead and add some content to this. Let's go ahead and add some content to this remove. To this remove file that we have in our home directory. Let's go ahead and add some content to this remove file that we have in our home directory, and then we're going to run again this SHA-256 sum hashing algorithm and see if we get the same output for the hashed values. If we do get the same, then we know they're the same. If we get different, then we know they're different. Okay, now echo, the command for that, let's use echo, and let's add abc to the remove, to this file right here, remove binary file, enter. Now let's rerun that compare of these two binary files again. Notice there's a difference somewhere, you see. Now how about the hashed value? Are they the same or different? Notice the original one still has the same one before that we had before, the original hashed value, which was this one up here. Oops, which was this one up here. Let me scroll back down. So you notice this is still the same as that, but this one that we copied over into our home directory has changed from that to this because we added some content to this file here, which was abc. We added abc to the rm that we copied over into our home directory. That's all we have about the cmp command. And That's what you use to compare your files, text files and binary file. Next, we are going to talk about the diff command. Diff is used to show you the difference between your text files. Okay, let me go ahead and create 2 more files. Say touch file C and touch file D. ls command. There they are. You have your C here and then D files. Now let's go ahead and append config. How about let's move the cat. So cat etc dot password. Let's move that to the C file, and let's do the same for the D file. Okay, now so cat C and cat D, so they both have the user files, the user file contents in them. Okay, C and D files. Now let's open file C with the text editor Vim, and so I'm gonna come down here, say on line 3, and then at the end I wanna insert. Go into the insert mode, the edit mode. When you do that, you wanna hit I for insert. Let's add these weird numbers here. Okay, 1 1 2 at the end. Okay, and you gotta hit escape to get out of the edit mode, and then W type double colon W for write, and then Q to quit. So just like that, our file C was modified. Let's check that again. So we ran the command here, and as you can see, we have 1 2. So we ran the command cat C. We have our 1 2 added to the third user file at the end. Now let's check the difference, if there's any difference between these two. So diff C and D. Guess what? Yes, it did find a difference. It says on line 3 of the first file, which is C, needs to be changed. C here means changed. It needs to be changed by with third line of the next file, which is D, meaning this line right here of the second file, delta or D, needs to replace this one here in the first file, which has a 1 2 at the end, in order to make them identical. See, so that's the diff command. So the diff command is going to show you the differences that you have between your text files, and it's going to output the lines where it found them. Okay, and so as you can see here, we have line 3 being the only difference between the two. And the other interesting commands, or should I say characters, that you're going to find here is A for add and D for delete. Okay, so that's how you do your diff command, and it's going to compare your text files and be able to give you the difference between the two text files. And let's go back into our file, and let's delete this third line. Instead of adding the 1 2 at the end, let's go ahead and delete the whole line. Okay, to delete a line in the Vim editor, you tap D twice, letter D twice. Now, so we just finished deleting, and we exit, tap the escape, and then column WQ, enter. We're gonna save the change, And let's compare C and D again. Look at that. Instead of C, now we have an A. Here A means the second line here, line number 2 of the first file. At the line number 2, we need to insert or add or append. A here means add or append. We need to add this. Pretty interesting, right? Now let's go back again into our file, Vim editor, and let's edit our file again. And this time, so insert mod, hit tap, press the key I as in India, to enter the insert mod or edit mod. Tap return or enter to create that space, the gap. Okay, now I'm gonna hit escape to exit, and I'm gonna do column WQ to save my changes. Now let me run the command diff again between the C and D file. Of course, we have our first difference we had was the missing line that we deleted. Exactly, that's exactly what we expected. But at the same time, it says that we need to delete some space. There's a gap. D here means delete. We need to delete that gap or remove the gap. Now, so interesting, right? So the less sign here means your first file, in this case your C file of the diff command, and the greater sign always means your second file, which is in this case delta D file. So this is in essence telling you the first file, which is C, has an empty space that needs to be deleted on the second line in order to make it look like the other file, D delta. Now on this one it says third line needs to be we need to add or append from the greater sign means that D file here, the greater signs, that's what it means. The second one has this line that needs to be added to the third line of the first file, which is C. So that is what a diff command does, and these are the options that it has. It's pretty interesting, options here, right? And again, the diff command is a pretty interesting one and useful in the sense that let's check this one out, right? So batch command is used to find the differences between your, let's say you have two source files, and there's a patch that needs to be ran, and your programmers are not going to have to rewrite the whole command, the whole source code. Instead, they're going to create a small file that needs to be, that is the difference between the new source. Let me rephrase this. The new source file is, say, this big. The old source file was like that big. So you're going to run the diff command, see the difference. Okay, find the difference between the new one versus the old. And then the patch command here is going to apply that only one difference between the new one, and it's going to patch up the old one in order to close up that vulnerability, whatever issue you're trying to fix, right? And that's where the diff command comes in and becomes useful in a way. And with this concludes everything about the compare and the diff command. So that's how you compare your files, if it's text files, and also if it's binary files. So that's it, guys. That's everything about compare and the diff command. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.